to the KDFL Dynasty Football Podcast. It's the Dynasty Podcast with the league to follow along with. I'm Brett Still, and joining me, as always, Mr. Jonathan Detroit Haynes.
Yo, yo, yo. What's up, fellas?
What's up? And the Zenful Matt Smith.
Beautiful November morning. Welcome, everybody.
All right.
November day.
It is a beautiful November Thursday, November 2nd.
Yeah, it is. That's right.
Thursday morning here in the KDFL. And what a glorious day of news we just experienced. It's our lead story to start it off with. The Raiders have moved on from head coach Josh McDaniels after the abysmal game on Monday night. Now, we'll cover the game more specifically in just a little bit, but as a Raiders self-exiled fan during this McDaniels reign of terror, Zenful Matt Smith, how are we feeling this morning? Go ahead and take it away.
Oh, man. I knew November was going to be an interesting month with all the travel and fans coming down, friends coming down for a 49ers Jags game and a bunch of stuff, Thanksgiving with family and all that. I wake up this morning, 6 a.m., I check my phone, and I think people's messing with me, and you could not have a greater start to the month of November 2023 than seeing that dumbass that I have railed on nonstop, and I get more and more hostile every single week with this guy, seeing that guy get fired. And just for today, the headband's going off. It is already Christmas time in November. Early Christmas. The Raiders. I cannot ask for more. Just truly beautiful. Thank you, Mark Davis. I forgive you for calling you stupid or whatever this year. You have completely redeemed yourself and said, screw everyone. I'm getting rid of these idiots and goodbye. It's a beautiful day for Raider Nation everywhere.
That was perfect. All right. Real quick now, we tried to get Superfan Roach on from last year's episode. You may remember when we did a State of the Raiders special one-off episode. Superfan Roach was too distraught to be reached for comment. Right now, he's taking this news very hard. He loved McDaniels, so he's taking this news. He's taking this news extremely hard. He asked for a moment for some privacy during this as he looks to his next steps. Speaking of next steps, of course, Ziegler goes to. They bring in Pierce as the interim head coach and a new OC. So they really cleaned house. Now, just real quick, I know it's been talked a lot today with it amongst ourselves, but the viewers obviously haven't heard that yet. Who's your number one target for this? Is interesting with who's on this podcast together. Who's your number one target for head coach?
I mean, it's obvious. The Raiders have to stop being the laughingstock of the league, and the only person that can stop them from being that. I don't want to hear some hot coordinator's name that nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows their head coaching, if they can be a head coach or not. I don't need another person to get fired and get paid millions of dollars. It's obvious the guy's getting kicked out of college football. Like, the writing is on the wall. He's gone. He's getting suspended. He might win the national championship. He's out. It has to be Jim Harbaugh. There's no other answer if he is willing to come there, because there's other teams that will open up too, and who says he wants to join the Raiders. But if he's willing to sign on, that's exactly who Mark Davis is going to take.
Oh,
he has to.
Go ahead, Detroit.
I mean, it's weird because I don't think I'd be upset with that, even though I know Michigan's had so much success now, and I don't want to hear about this stupid spying crap or whatever. But I'm just
I love that story.
I'm just tired of it.
You can't be tired of it. It gets so much better. The dude's on the sideline with glasses now with the blue light on the Central Michigan.
It's similar to Spygate, so I understand why Detroit doesn't want to talk
about
it. He doesn't do too well.
I'm torn on it because we've had a lot of success with him. And I hate to see him go, but at the same time, college football, I don't know.
I have a good question for you. I think you may have just answered it. I have an interesting question because I would think right now the top two choices would be Harbaugh and Lions OC Ben Johnson. I feel like those would be the top. I mean, that's just it seems like those would be the top two hot names right now. Detroit, Sophie's choice. You got to pick to go with that one. Who is it going to be? That's interesting. It's Michigan and
Yeah,
the
it is.
Lions. This is amazing right now. You gotta pick one to go without. The other one stays on.
Am I guaranteed like one of them's going to be there
You
for a
get
while?
yeah. When you stake hypothetical, you get at least another year of the other one.
I think I'm sending Harbaugh.
I thought you would. I thought you would.
Because I think in college football, it's changing a lot. And like the Big
Right.
Ten, I mean, we're getting off kind of subject here, but
No, we're good.
they're getting all these new teams like Oregon and USC. I think it's going to be harder, even though they are expanding the playoff. College football's changed a lot with the whole NIL, whatever it's called. So I think it's going to be hard for teams to stay. I mean, look what's happened to Alabama. They're not really dominant like they were. So I think I'd rather have the Lions be good.
But I mean, I hear this though. The Bills are still good. I mean, yeah, Dayball left. They're still good. I know they're not. Teams get figured out something. They're not as good. But do you see the Lions? Say the Lions keep Jared Goff. They keep all their guys. They don't lose any playmakers. You think they're going to fall apart next year with the new OC? I don't believe that at all.
I don't think fall apart. No, but firing like they are.
No. Yeah, I don't think they would.
Versus Michigan, versus head coaches in college football, you have your main guys and they leave, and it's a huge difference. I know you said college football is changing a lot, but you have the main guys that
it is. I mean, it's
truly change college versus an OC in the NFL.
And you're right, because they've been irrelevant ever since Lloyd Carr left until Jim Harbaugh got there. So
now, one thing I will say, I've been swayed a little bit throughout the day on Harbaugh because I think he fits that team well, the attitude and the toughness and all the stuff that, I know Matt laid out, Cowherd also laid out a lot as well. I do think he is a where all is welcome type of guy, but if you can win while he's there, and I think Davis would look, I know Roach had mentioned not wanting to give him the keys and not wanting him to have GM. I always think it's kind of a miniature Brett's big brain. I always think it's weird that every coach just isn't the GM as well. Be honest.
I know.
It is kind of weird to me.
What GM and coach are not going to agree? I mean, yeah, you're not going to agree 100%, but it's not like the GM's going to bring in a bunch of random dudes that the head coach has no desire to have.
When I ran Verizon, when I ran a Verizon store, this is just a limited personal experience, but when I ran a Verizon store, I couldn't imagine not being able to hire and fire my own employees. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of off to me I get it's a huge organization. You have a lot of parts, but it is weird to me that I think it was Parcells, right? If you're gonna want me to cook, at least let me buy the groceries. The famous quote. So I think it makes sense to me to allow the head coach to have, if not all, at least heavy input into what you do, because only you know what works in your scheme. Okay, that was fun. Now, let's just recap the week that was in NFL. We started off, every time we do these recaps, the Thursday game feels like it was 3 weeks ago. Every time we do this. It truly does. Now, we started off with the Bills and the Bucks. Now, I only have a couple things here. Old Zen Master Dalton Kincaid finally has his breakup game. We very mild trade discussions around Kincaid. Mild is putting it even strongly there. But
get the hell out of here, trade discussions.
He was mentioned. So Dalton Kincaid has his big breakout game. It's what we wanted to see with Dawson Knox out. So I think that was great to see. My only the Bucks kind of did what they do. Like, I don't think the Bucks did anything outside of the norm. My only thing is, do the Bills still feel a little bit off to you guys overall?
I mean, Josh Allen was looking better. They were all about him rushing the ball, and he did. The fans were loving it and everything. Kincaid did look really good, though. I am excited for his future, although Knox needs to just stay away and never come back. But the Bills, maybe they're one piece they're missing is good old Leonard Fournette. It makes no sense. James Cook looks good every time he touches the ball. And he looked good. He looked good, but he doesn't get that many carries. He's 14 carries, I think, the last game. but he's averaging like 5 yards a carry. I don't know why they don't give him the ball more. The Bills could be better, but they look pretty good on Thursday night.
I think the Fournette signing is more about Latavius Murray than it is James Cook. I think it's just more the blocking and the bruiser down near the goal line, which, I mean, again, James Cook has looked good when he gets the ball. It just always seems like he hasn't got the ball enough.
Yeah.
But I don't have much else on the Thursday night game. I thought it was kind of
Nah,
not a whole lot happened. Yeah. All right, 1 p.m. games. You can blame the beautiful ESPN algorithm for this, but we're going to start off with the big surprise, Will Levis.
Should we talk about what team do you want to be in the future of again?
I'm not going that far with Will Levis yet. He did look good. 238-4, QB number 5 on the week. Now I probably am one of the only ones that watched every snap of that game because it wasn't some beautiful thing. But I will say the throws were impressive, but the main thing that was the worry about Will Levis was the decision making, and that looked better than I expected it to. Now, Grady Jarrett goes out early in this game. ACL done for the year. RIP Grady Jarrett. Heart and soul of the defense. So he didn't have a ton of pressure. That's the only thing I want to see this week with them playing the Steelers is TJ Watt's going to give him way more pressure. So that's going to be something to watch. He was like 38% completion, 30% completion when he's under pressure or something like that. So it wasn't great, but the decision making, as far as like knowing what to do, was impressive to me. There's a play that no one will talk about that was impressive for a rookie to me. They're trying to wind the clock. He gets sacked. He takes the sack instead of trying to scramble and throw the ball away, which seems pretty obvious, but to a rookie quarterback in his first start, that's not something you see most of the time. So Matt, you were big on the give Will Levis a chance. Yeah. He gets his chance, and I believe that this job is his for the remainder of the year. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. How was he running much? I didn't watch much of that game. No, I was watching the Jags game.
Not a lot.
No, I mean, he's an athletic dude. That's why the main reason I was saying give him a chance because he is a very athletic dude. But yeah, he was slinging the ball to Hopkins, and every time Hopkins, it's like every highlight, just a 50-yard grab for Hopkins. But yeah, I think Levis. The Titans are always one of those teams that they're always good. The Titans are never a bad team. It seems like it's been like that and they drafted Levis super early. He looked good. I know this is the first week, but Pittsburgh's not good either, though. Pittsburgh should have got destroyed. We'll talk about that later, I guess. But yeah, I think Levis is good. The Titans. It'd be nice if is Burks still alive? Does that guy play? And
he had a huge drop in this one.
A disaster of a dynasty football player so far. Yeah, it hasn't done anything, right? But I think I still like. Yeah, I like Levis's chances to be successful.
Yeah, I didn't get to see many. I didn't get to see any of the 1:00 games because I was traveling back from Louisville. But Brett, are you more excited to have Hinkie in the lineup than Ritter?
Heineke.
I
love it. I love it, Hinkie.
Heineke.
Go drink yourself a Heineken.
There you go. There's your preview.
We'll hit on this real quick and just go on from it. But I love it because he came in and it was instant ignition in the offense. He was throwing it downfield. He was making plays with his legs. He wasn't just taking sacks, which Ritter has done. I was patient with Ritter. I was in his corner. I get the benefit of hitting on a pick like Ritter. You get that low salary and you can do so much with the rest of your team if you hit. But he fumbled again. I mean, that's 5 fumbles, or it's 4 fumbles, 4 lost fumbles in 5.5 quarters. That's amazing. It's amazing, unheard of. So he got his concussion and he went out and he was cleared, but didn't come back in. Arthur Smith finally, by the way, just to stay with the Falcons, this is the hottest his seat's been so far because it was you need to make this pick that everyone is saying. You need to make this pivot to Heineke right now. It seemed like the offense had more juice. It felt like the players had more juice. It was like this is your first like we're getting tired of it because again,
Right.
we talked about it. We talked about it in the chats. You can have a shtick like the mustache and the grumpy old man and the hate fantasy and all that stuff. That's all well and good. You better be winning. Like you can't do that and suck. So I mean, that's my main thing on it. I'm excited to see what happens this week. I'm excited as far as dynasty and fantasy goes. You can fire up Pitts now with more confidence. You can fire up Bijan with a lot more. It felt like the gates open. He just all of a sudden starts breaking stuff off because there's the boxes in his loaded. And we'll see if London's healthy enough to go. But if he is healthy enough, you can obviously fire up London as well. So it's interesting. Just get in there, Heineke, and sling it. You don't have much to lose. And this team's in the middle of a tight division race with the Saints right now. The Bucks are obviously just one game back. So
I'm rooting for Heineke. I'm rooting for him.
You almost got it.
Heineke. Heineken beer. Just take off the N at the end.
Hey!
So speaking of that division, you have to bet your life savings right now. Who's winning the division this year?
I'm going to bet the Falcons to win the division this year.
Obviously,
you just lost your life savings? You're that
I didn't
confident?
just lose my life savings.
You're that confident?
Do we want to go right to it? That was a 1 o'clock game,
yeah, let's
right?
go
We can
to
go
it.
right to it.
Say NFC South.
They beat up the Colts. You know who else beat up the Colts the week before? PJ Walker beat up the Colts.
I think we saw the. I've shared it a few times in Discord. I think we saw the prettiest ball thrown of the year.
I'm pretty sure I just watched Will Levis throw 4 of them.
That wasn't in.
They were dimes.
That was absolute perfect. That was perfection. Which he does that like once a year. Like, oh shit, or gosh.
I do actually know what you're talking about because the ball to Adams last year against the Chiefs.
Oh yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about. That exact throw, right?
Yeah. Some of them are just crazy. It clearly doesn't happen enough or that often, but that play was ridiculous. Shaheed full stride. Just Shaheed's pretty solid too. I may have tried to trade for that guy and got shot down immediately.
I think his price just went. Yeah,
that was before this game. It was last week I tried to trade.
The deal with the KDFL is you get punt returns and kickoff return yards, and that just makes all the difference with him.
Yeah. I mean, he's been good though.
Derek Carr has had 300-yard games 3 straight games.
Yeah, so the interesting thing, I watched a lot of that game. I had 2 TVs on. Carr had a great performance, but Taysom Hill was in a lot of the red zone plays, and they scored 2 touchdowns with Taysom Hill on that. Carr's 2 touchdowns were outside of the red zone. So that'll be interesting to see what they do.
I was gonna say this about Carr. Like the 2 games before with his 300 yards, he had to throw at least 50 times in the game. This game, he only threw it 27 times.
Yeah,
boys. I don't know if I'm supposed to break in with this or not, but I'm looking up something. R.I.P. Bobby Knight.
Oh, wow.
Just randomly breaking into the Dynasty Football Podcast with Bobby Knight passing away, the chairman himself. That's awful.
Basketball season getting ready to start, too.
Yeah, I was looking up something on Shaheed, but let me find it.
Well, in honor of him, I think you need to throw up the gift for the preview.
Oh, he's getting a gift preview. Bobby Knight getting a gift preview. Look, y'all are talking all this about Carr. He was a QB 13. Let's everybody come QB 13 on the week.
Well, I'm talking fantasy wise, buddy.
Hey, he was QB 13.
This is a fantasy pod. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm just saying, that's cooler Jets.
That's startable.
Well, I mean, combine him and Taysom Hill, and we got QB1 on the week.
Oh my God.
Just saying. Taysom Hill was QB for 2 of those touchdowns. The Saints offense was looked. I know it was the Colts. The defense was a little suspect this game against the Colts, but the Saints offense, if they play like that, they could beat anyone.
Here's what I was looking at. Oh, well, I agree with you there. Here's what I was looking at. In the KDFL, this is the value of the punt return yards and kickoff return yards for these players. That's how I got by on Ted Ginn for so long. He's the wide receiver 12 in the KDFL. In another league with PPR scoring, he's the wide receiver 33. That's a humongous difference for if you're successful in that role.
Yeah. He's also been good. He has been good at receiver.
He has been good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we good on the Saints talk?
Yeah.
I mean, is that enough?
One more. Did you all see the Chris Olave? I was like, I see all the Raiders and Carr tweets just from what I follow. and
Yeah.
people were giving they were joking about it, but Carr like threw it to Olave and it hit Olave like straight right in the face.
I did see that one. I did see that one.
Like Olave, man, that dude has been he's been a big disappointment this year. I really thought I said he was going to be wide receiver
I will
one.
agree.
Wide
This
receiver
year,
one, and he's
because he was supposed to be, because he showed so much flashes last year with the mix of Dalton and freaking Jameis, and this year was supposed to be the gas,
Yeah.
and he just has not. And it does seem like it's shifting a little bit more on him right now, and not less on Carr a little bit.
Yeah, it is. We're see though. It's tougher
Yeah.
matchups and all that.
All right. Let's see. Let's knock that out.
How about the Cowboys? How about the Cowboys?
That's where I'm at. Nicely done. Detroit, transition god. Dak impresses again in back-to-back weeks. He goes for 304-4. He's a QB2 on the week, by far his best performance.
Yeah.
Do we think the Cowboys have found something, or do we think it was the Rams D in a weird game?
Man, I don't know. The Cowboys are almost kind of like the Bills in a way. You just don't know what team you're getting from week to week. But if they can get that kind of production out of him, I mean, they're going to be going places. I saw that that's his first 4-touchdown game since December of 2021. So, and what's his name? CeeDee Lamb has just been going nuts the last couple of weeks. He's had 21 targets in the last 2 games with 19 catches. So they're feeding him the ball. I think they're going to be all right. I don't think they're going to beat out Philly for the division, but they're going to be that team. They'll be like a 5 seed or whatever.
They could be Philly. They could win the division. It's not.
I don't think it's out of the question. I mean, they obviously play them this week.
I'm not saying
deal.
it's out of the question. I just don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen.
They're 6-2, and the Eagles are 7-1.
Yep.
Dallas is 5-2.
Oh yeah, Dallas has had their bye.
Yeah, the
now, one interesting thing on this, there's been one player on the Cowboys that's been kind of a disappointment, and Tony Pollard to me. I mean, I think he's running back 16 on the year, something like that, which is okay. It's not nearly what he was drafted in redraft to be, and it's not what the expectations were. But I did see this tweet from Scott Barrett that I think kind of illuminates what's happening. A big reason why Tony Pollard has had such an underwhelming season. The Cowboys have not played in any or one normal game. Okay, here are their point differentials. Week 1 plus 40, plus 35, plus 23, plus 20, plus 3. That's a close game. Minus 12, minus 32. So those are their differentials of points. So it has been all over the place. And when you're all over the place like that, your running back, especially one that needs like dump off passes and not like ground up the middle type running back, it's going to be hard to find consistency.
Yeah, NFL is just hard to figure out some of these teams because, I mean, they beat the Giants and the Jets easily the first couple of weeks, and they turn around and lose the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
They get smoked by the Niners. They beat up on the Patriots, barely beat the Chargers. So it's just you just don't know who's good, like really good.
Dallas has played 28% of their offensive snaps with the score plus or minus within 6 points, just 28%. That's obviously the league worst. The league's best is Seattle at 69%, and the Chargers at 66%. That's a crazy difference. You'd be playing 40% more of your snaps in close games. There you go. Here's a little tidbit for you.
Thanks for the tidbit.
There's a tidbit. Sadness as Cousins is done for the year. Obviously, the Vikings traded for Josh Dobbs to try to keep.
Sorry, superfan Keith.
Shout out superfan on this somber day. They trade for Dobbs to bring him in to try to keep Addison and Jefferson afloat. I think you will see a pretty big impact to their numbers. I don't think Dobbs is the guy he's not gonna be able to sustain them both consistently, like Cousins might have been able to do.
Dobbs won't be playing. The legend Jaron Hall will lead them to the playoffs this year. The newest member of the Noctis Zen Masters.
Are you saying they're going to win the North?
They might with this guy, Jaron Hall. He looks good.
Hey! Calm down.
I think he's ready. He's a rookie, but I think he's an older rookie. I think so. I don't know. I was looking him up a little bit.
I think
he's 25 years old, but he's a rookie.
Wow.
Yeah. So, hey.
He's still not as old as that Notre Dame quarterback, is he?
He's experienced. He's experienced. It worked for Brandon Wheaton. It can work for him. I don't have a lot more in the early slate. We'll say the Panthers get their first win over the Texans. Detroit, do we think Bryce Young is closing the gap? You have to at least consider he's closing the gap against CJ Stroud, right? You would think.
Well, he's played better. He's definitely played better the last couple of weeks, and I believe he did play. I mean, this was a 1:00 game too, so I didn't get to see it. But everything I read said he outplayed Stroud in this game. So I think he's getting better. He's getting more comfortable.
We were talking about 15.5 fantasy points to 12.9. It is quite the barn burner of our rookies. But again, Stroud is set up better with the weapons.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this right now. He's been sacked 20 times this season. His offensive line is awful. And he has really no weapons besides Thielen.
Hey.
Yeah.
So
there's one man.
There's another Zen master, Mingo. My goodness.
I say that every week, and I get corrected. One of these weeks,
just Google the guy.
You don't have to remember him. He has to do something for you to remember him. He's just a big dude.
He's huge. He's jacked.
He's humongous. Yeah.
He is absolutely jacked. You would think he would get more targets thrown his way, but 5 targets this game, 4 catches. He did have 62 yards though, so he made it over 10 fantasy points.
The only other big performance that I had, well, Hill and Waddle continue to dominate the wide receivers 5 and 7 on the week. I don't see this slowing down at all. I love Mike McDaniel. I saw him walking to the press conference in Germany, and he goes, "I know what everybody's thinking. You thought I'd be bigger, right? I get it." Yeah. So
yeah, I didn't even realize that game was in Germany. I knew they were playing there, but did they play? Who did they play?
No, I'm gonna cut this, but I gotta look at that. I think I got his quote wrong. I think he says I'm as big as or bigger than you thought. Hold on. This is definitely what we need to cut for. This is definitely a good cut moment.
Who did they play?
They played the Patriots.
Dolphins. That was in Germany?
No, it wasn't.
What did I say his quote was? It's in Germany this week.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was saying. Like, I didn't realize they played in Germany, so they did not play.
I'm going to start. They play this week in Germany.
He's there now. He's already there. Right. Okay,
yes.
You're just confusing. I thought you were saying after.
All right, I'm going to start from the Hill and Waddle at the top. Okay, another big performance. We have Hill and Waddle, wide receiver, 5 and 7 on the week. They continue to dominate. I got to say, I love Mike McDaniel. I see him arrive in Germany. First thing he says to the press conference, "I'm bigger in person." You're right. It's just amazing. I don't see this slowing down. This is a big test with the Chiefs. This is a humongous game to give the Germans, just for the record. I know we'll hit on it later. That's a humongous game to give Germany, the Dolphins and the Chiefs.
I like it, though. I get to get up early and watch a really good game. Well,
that part's true.
I'll be sleeping in for that game. I'm not watching the Chiefs. I'll probably watch it. I don't know. Screw them. No desire to watch the Chiefs.
I love it.
Is there not teams that you all just completely hate?
Yes,
and don't want to
absolutely.
Watch?
Yeah, I hate watching them.
Let's go 49ers.
Okay, it's 49ers. You don't want to watch their games. And
I don't want to watch the Packers.
I hate watch the Saints.
Okay, yeah.
I'm a glutton for punishment. I mean, I hate watch them. Like, I watch them, but I hate it.
I'll go hang out at the beach and meditate versus watching the stupid Chiefs game on Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m.
I gotta take it. I gotta take every game in. All right. That's it on AJ Brown, give him some flowers. He dominates again. He's a wide receiver 2 on the year behind Hill. Wide receiver 3 on the week.
8 for 132. Plus.
It's insane.
Yeah,
it really is insane. Smith played well this week, so it's a little bit better, but AJ Brown continued to dominate. Okay. 4 p.m. games. The big upset. The Chiefs go down to the Broncos. Patrick Mahomes loses for the first time against Denver. The Broncos break a 16-game losing streak. That's absolutely absurd.
I know he doesn't watch them, but I guarantee he wants to talk about that game, don't you, Matt?
Yeah.
I do. I saw that message that Mahomes was battling flu-like symptoms. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to talk about forever how he just battled through everything and came out and won. And let's build him a statue. It was amazing. That's the greatest Broncos victory I've ever seen. I hate the Broncos too, but that was awesome. Just seeing the Chiefs absolutely suck that game.
I'll say this. I watched a lot of Kansas City games this year. And Mahomes, he's not having as good a year as he has in the past. He looks a little off this year.
He does.
He still has 15 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. But there's been a few games where there's been like wide open dropped interceptions. He's been like just throwing them up. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, he's got some Brett Favre in him.
Yeah,
he always has. But a lot of
really
catches
like it this year.
Yeah, I did see.
Go ahead.
I saw Sky Moore drop a touchdown catch. That was nice.
Did do that.
At the end of the game.
He did do that. Mahomes only has 2 QB top 5 QB finishes on the season so far in fantasy. I believe that's right.
I'm sure he's still one of the top MVP guys, though.
I mean, hey man, he's doing it with nothing. Now we got to start that narrative. He's doing it with nothing.
Of course, nothing.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce shattering record.
I mean, he's got Taylor Kelce on his team. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
All right. Trey McBride. Finally, humongous game. Tight end 1 on the week. We've been waiting on this for a while here in Melbourne. 10, 95, and 1. And the thing is, I think this might be somewhat sustainable with we haven't said this in a while, Detroit, with the game scripts that the Cardinals are likely to be in and the lack of weapons that they have all around. So similar to Matt with Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, Zach Ertz, you can just go ahead and go away.
Yeah.
And let Trey McBride do this thing. Let's see this young talent. So I did take a brutal beat in the daily fantasy this week. It's the worst beat I've ever taken in a heads-up match. I was up 6 with Lamar, and all we have is Trey McBride, and I lose. Absolutely incredible to lose on that. But McBride looks solid. The only other game I want to hit on is the Niners and Bengals, because this had on the afternoon slate, because this had some pretty big happenings. Let's start with Burrow back to form, 283-3, QB4 on the week. I think that this Bengals offense is back full steam ahead. What do we say, boys?
Yeah, they are.
They look like they're going to be hard to beat the rest of the season. Burrow looks finally healthy, so he was running around quite a bit, and he looked pretty good doing it. So,
okay, now I'm gonna go to the other side. Mandatory party discussion, as we always have to do.
Oh God,
another 2 interception game. It's 5 INTs in 3 games. They did have some good throws in this game as well. What's the alarm level now on Brock Purdy? Still nothing?
I don't know. I mean, he still throws some really good balls. Some of these decisions he's been making lately, they don't look good. Not good at all. But they're still going to be fine. I mean, what's their other option? They're going to go to Sam Darnold? Why would you do that? The guy's still having a really good year.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I'm still not concerned.
Yeah.
Maybe when he gets destroyed in Jacksonville and we see it live in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, a week and a half, we can get concerned.
I can't believe he played, for one. It's the first time we've seen the quarterback come back in the concussion protocol in the same week. And then he gets his head rocked again.
Yeah.
Gets his head rocked, grabs it.
I mean, the thing is, he can still suck and the 49ers can still be great. They get Chase Young for a third-round pick. They got CMC, Debo, Ayuk. It's ridiculous. Like,
he still
Purdy can just don't screw up and you guys will win.
Yeah.
That's all he has to do.
71% of his passes.
Yeah.
So it's not. He just had a couple really bonehead plays.
I'm going to say I'm not concerned. But I think that there is no team that has been more ready for their bye week than this one. Let's get me to the bye. Let's get Debo back. Let's get Purdy's head right, and let's go to Duval, where we will be in attendance, and let's see what happens, baby. All right. Sunday night, I have something stupid. Herbert gets back on track, 298-3. He's a QB7. The finger thing looked hilarious. I'm sorry. The finger bandage looked ridiculous. It looked comical.
It did. It really did.
And then, this is going to sound stupid too. It probably is the same size as everybody else's, but I don't know why Herbert's chin strap always looks hilariously large to me. It looks like it. I don't know if I'm the only one that notices this. It looks like it covers up half his face. It almost looks like It looks like pacifier-esque to me. Like it almost covers up his whole mouth. It looks so much weirder to me than other QBs. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that he just always has a certain look on his face. But I always think the mouthpiece looks
it does look bigger.
Does it not? It looks larger. It looks like a diaper.
It looks like it's higher up, like it's almost touching his lip.
Thank you. It just looks like a giant thing. I've always noticed that about him. I don't know if it's just how he carries himself or if it actually is larger. But it almost looks like a.
It almost looks like a mask.
That's what I said. Diaper on his face. Yeah. Oh.
All right, let's get on with the game.
I hate him even more now.
All right. Also,
let's get on to that Monday night game now.
Last thing, Eckler back. Didn't look good on the ground. Did look good receiving. Running back 7 on the week gets him there. So we'll see if that continues. That played a pretty decent role in our KDFL results, as we'll hit on in this later half of the show. But this is a big game, and this is a game we're going to spend a little bit of time talking on because we have a couple of points to hit on. The Lions dominate the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Jahmyr Gibbs, breakout game. Running back 1 on the week. He goes for 152 yards on 26 carries and a touchdown. Detroit, take it away.
Man, he looks good. And he's been running the ball good. He's averaging 5.3 yards a carry. So it doesn't surprise me. The narrative was, well, okay, he's a smaller back. He's not going to be able to run through inside the tackles. He's just going to be an outside guy. But no, he looks good. He looks comfortable. I know when they get Montgomery back, they'll probably go back to a little bit more split carries. I like Gibbs more, not just because he's on my team. I just think he's more explosive. And what I loved about this game, sorry, Raider Matt, but is we did some bonehead things in this game. We kept settling for field goals.
Yeah.
Pick six. 3 turnovers, a pick 6, and we still end up winning by double digits. I can't ever tell you when the Lions have ever done that before. So that's what I love about this team is I think they're always going to be in it. They can contend in this NFC. So I'm just excited for it.
It's not every day you get to play against a Josh McDaniels led team, and nobody else gets to do that this year. So,
so you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Amon-Ra has an impressive 108 on 6 catches. And he was sick as well going into it, so that was good to see. Adams clearly frustrated for the Raiders. He remains with the team. The quote was no chance in hell retrading him at the trade deadline. What do we think of Adams' value the rest of the way? Like, Jimmy G is essentially benched. It's Aiden O'Connell now.
Yeah, I'm conflicted on the Aiden O'Connell. Jimmy G's truly terrible, but can't tell, is the Aiden O'Connell? He hasn't looked good either. Preseason he looked good, but regular season, but he also had McD calling the play. So nobody has looked good with that. But maybe I don't know, maybe they get a little more loose. The QB coach is now the offensive coordinator. So but I can't tell if they're starting Aiden just to see how he does, and they don't care if they think they got to win though, because they got the interim head coach and all that. So I think they're going to play more passionate. I was surprised by Aiden starting though. I mean, what happens if he struggles big time? Jimmy G going to come back in? It's hard to tell how Adams and them will do. with Aiden. I don't know. It's tough. You can't bench the guys, but
he only had the one catch, but it says he had 7 targets. So I think
the problem is 2 of the targets were in the 5th row. Is the problem with the 7 targets?
Yeah.
I think Aiden O'Connell. If I had to guess, he had the one game with him. I think he had like 8 for 75 yards or something like that. If I had to guess, I think it gives Devontae Adams a 10-point floor. I think it hurts Jacoby Myers a good bit.
Yeah.
Because again, this isn't somebody that's going to support 2. This isn't an offense that's going to support 2. So I think he gives Devontae, because if you're in their corner, you're going to do what Devontae Adams tells you to do in this offense. Like
I have one request. One request from people talking about Aiden O'Connell. Can we please stop referring to him as AOC for obvious reasons? I hate
it. AOC getting in there.
It's awful.
It's awful. So please stop doing it.
It is.
They had it with the Duke player as well. It was AOC, right? Yeah.
I think Hunter Renfrow will be a floor of 3 points a game versus 0 points a game now that McD's out.
Some would call that a 300% increase.
Yeah.
I guess that's
zero. But they were saying that he didn't get traded because they didn't want to eat the 2023 salary, which makes no sense because 2024 he's like $11 million hit. But maybe also it was just Mark Davis saying you're not trading anybody. I'm done with you all. So
I think that too.
Traded.
All right. Now we had an interesting discussion in the chat, and we've done these player profiles with the trades. We've always done them with high caliber players. We've done them with top picks or what have you. Let's do one with a player that was drafted high and hasn't produced what the expectations were yet, to kind of see where you gauge. And we're talking about Lions wide receiver Jameson Williams, JMO. He is an Elkview River Rat. So I kind of have some trade options for Detroit, and we're gonna put you in the mind space of a middling contender, right? You're not a powerhouse.
Can I say something before? Yes. Can I say something before you do this?
Yes.
All right. So I went back and looked. He's been back for like 3 games now or whatever. On the season, he has 6 catches for 71 yards and 1 touchdown. They have targeted him 15 times, and the NFL uses a stat. I don't know.
I've heard this. Is this the PFF?
I don't know how they determine this, but 9 of those have been catchable balls, and he has dropped 3 of them. So he's dropping 33% of the catch or the balls thrown to him. And this was a knock on him in camp. And he hasn't learned the routes. There's been discussion about that. You've heard MCDC talk about that they want him to block, just run the right routes. So obviously there's a huge learning curve going on here with this guy, but he's fast. I mean, he's super fast. He's getting open when he's getting down the field, but I just wanted to touch on that. So
yeah. There's a stat with the minimum attempts. I want to say minimum targets of 15 or something like that. He's there's 106 eligible. He's 106 right now on PFF. I mean, just can't slice it. Obviously started off with the injury, and then he had the gambling suspension, but it has not been what it was supposed to be for him. But let's see what you'd be willing to part with him for. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're in the role of a middling team. We're about 500. We're not selling off. We're not getting the last piece to contend for a championship. We're trying to make the playoffs. Jameson Williams.
And I'm currently 4-4.
So it fits. First up, Joe Mixon.
No.
Beautiful air. Yeah.
No, I'm not doing it.
Okay. Matt?
I'm doing that trade.
You're taking Joe Mixon?
Yeah. Jameson.
Okay.
Absolutely busted for.
All right. Running back of this is the opposite side. A younger running back, less of a caliber. Rachaad White.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
All right, freaking call it. Hold on.
Just because that's the reason why I didn't really take Mixon was because just he's a little bit older.
All right. I mean,
Yeah, I think I'm doing that.
All right. Gabe Davis.
Who?
Getting some wide Gabe Davis.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a slam.
Yeah.
You would trade for Gabe Davis?
If the concept is me getting into the playoffs and I'm on the cusp, yeah, I'm going to do it. Actually, you know what? I don't even know what Gabe Davis is right now. I don't even know what his stats are.
I don't think I would do that.
That's how frustrated I am with him.
I don't think
All
I'm
right.
making that trade.
Okay. Jerry Judy.
No.
No, you're no on that. Okay. Here's an
Judy's-
interesting one.
Known bum. Jameson is at least
All right.
still has some potential.
All right. Hold on, let me see something here.
And I say
Okay.
yes to all these. I'm probably never doing these trades.
Well, because you have the difference of, and it's almost like a fallacy. Like it should not be the case, but you do have the difference of the invested pick that you picked him in.
Right.
If you inherited your team and had Jameson Williams, you wouldn't have that pick 5, I think was what he was.
Yeah.
What about Kenny Pickett? There's somebody else that was drafted high caliber.
Yeah, I'm doing it in a super
Superflex,
flex.
Yeah.
I'm doing it in a super flex.
Okay. All right.
Come get
That's
them,
all
King. Come
What
get
about
them.
a second round draft pick?
That's what I was going to This one here, the rankings right now have 2025 second round as the equivalent of what Jameson Williams is. 2025.
I hate looking at 2025.
Nah.
2024
Right.
second
I
round
agree.
pick.
No, I'm holding on to him.
2024.
You hold
you're
on to him
keeping
for a
him?
2024 second?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, he is only 22 years old.
Yeah, he hasn't even played a 16 game or 17 games.
Yeah, he
yet.
hasn't.
I don't
So-
know. I think I'd pull the trigger. Pick wise, and I've kind of.
But you're talking about I'm on the cusp of making the playoffs. Why would I trade him away for a draft pick? I'm trying to improve the team now.
Well, we're saying the draft pick value. I get it. What you're saying. Okay, that was interesting. Now that's it for the NFL discussion, Mr. Matthew Smith. It is now your unnamed college football segment. Take it away.
Yeah, some suggest this is the future awesome rookie talent. You can label that whatever you want.
Yes. Guy's never in charge of naming anything.
This guy, you all don't know who he is. I did not point him out earlier right now. But he is a certified 20-year-old phenom, 6'4", 240 pounds. He's first team All-American 2022, second team All-American 2021, SEC Freshman of the Year 2021, first team All-ASC 2021, 2022, two-time college football national champion. Y'all know who I'm talking about? No.
I think I do.
No.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh, is it
Bauer.
Is it
Brock
Bob-
Bowers.
I was gonna say
Brock
Brock
Bowers.
Brock
Brock
Bowers.
Bowers, Georgia tight end. Apparently, I mean, he's going to be Kelsey. They're already labeling him as Kelsey, pretty much. So, we're only comparing it to tight ends right now.
Yeah, this is gonna be quick.
Right? So you just okay. We'll see. All right. So I'm going in rankings right now. So Pat Freiermuth.
Bowers.
Evan Ingram. That's obvious. Evan Ingram, I would think.
Oh, it's not. Are you joking? Okay, you're joking, right?
Yeah, I'm saying obvious. Which one are you taking between him and Evan Ingram?
Bowers.
Exactly. Okay. That's
okay. Well, you said the way your dialect was. You said that's obvious, Evan Ingram. I get what you're saying now.
He had
Yeah,
me
Bowers.
confused.
Yeah.
He's older. George Kittle.
Bowers.
Dallas
think I'm going
Goddard.
We got our first
I think
hezzy.
I'm going
We got our
Bowers.
first hezzy.
What?
What?
What'd you say?
I'm going
Detroit?
Bowers.
Okay.
Dallas Goddard.
Bowers.
I want you guys to trade these picks in the first round this year to get Bowers. Trade your tight ends. Dalton Kincaid.
That's
No.
that's where we hit. That's where you stop.
Yeah, because I mean Kincaid's in a great system right now.
He is, yeah.
I mean, we don't even know where Bowers is going.
We got to think he's going to be the starting tight end wherever he goes.
He's going to be a starting tight end, but he could end up in a spot like Kincaid did.
Yep.
He'd be the
for a
starting
while.
tight end in Tampa, for God's sakes. I mean,
That'd be awesome. I think I'm still going Brock Bowers
Over Kincaid. All right.
right now. Right now.
Detroit, who'd you say? Kincaid?
He said
I take
Kincaid.
Kincaid.
No,
Cal Pitts.
Bowers.
Bowers. It's Bowers.
I'm taking Bowers.
It's Bowers.
Sam
Right
Laporta.
now.
I'm keeping Laporta.
It's Bowers. Oh, I said that so fast and confident.
Brett's just trading everybody in the world for Caleb Williams and Brock Bowers right now.
What?
Here,
You
just
really-
trade, get you rid of your whole team.
It's worth the
Laporta
risk.
too?
TJ Hawkinson.
I
That's a
think
good
it's
one.
Bowers.
Bowers over
He
Hawkinson.
takes over games. Takes them over.
But
Who'd
it's
you say?
still unknown.
It is unknown.
I think I'm keeping Hawkinson.
Mark Andrews.
I hate this segment.
Oh.
It makes me feel like an idiot.
Andrews.
Andrews, dear God, with Lamar.
I think
Andrews, they're
Hawkinson
both
and
fucked
Andrews are pretty similar.
up. I don't think so, but I get it.
Andrews
Well,
is just-
okay.
Years.
Hold on. We're talking about situation. We don't know who's throwing Brock Bowers the ball. We don't know who's throwing Hawkinson the ball next year.
I
True.
gotta get back to Laporta. What are you? He's like breaking
okay.
tight end records.
Hand up. Hand up. I said it really fast. All right. I get it. All right. I will agree that there should have been more hesitation. But I just
I mean, I love the
You're gonna
rookies too. So
you're gonna lose Ben Johnson. It's all gonna go to hell in a handbasket. It's basically what I'm saying.
No, we're losing
Yeah.
Harbaugh.
and the Raiders are going to win the Super Bowl.
You already
next year
made your
with Ben
Sophie's
Johnson.
choice. That's right.
And then the last one, 34-year-old.
Anyways.
Travis Kelce.
I don't know.
I mean, you guys.
I think that's easy.
I'm keeping Kelsey. Kelsey.
Screw him. I'm trading him immediately for Bowers. You're keeping
I mean,
Kelce?
you're gonna, yeah. For right. Wait a minute. Wait
This
a
is
minute,
dynasty. This is
I know it's
dynasty.
dynasty. You're holding on, clutching on to Dalton Kincaid, but you're kicking. You're kicking
Kincaid
Kelce
will
to the
play
curb.
12 more years. Kincaid could play another 15. Kelsey could be done next year.
I mean, he could, but I mean, it's Kelsey.
But he's
And then
also still going
Bowers
to
is
be the
going to
number one
play
tight
for
end.
10 to
Yeah.
15 years too. So you're taking the 1 to 3 more years of Kelsey over the 10 to 15
Over
years
the
of
one
Bowers.
game I've seen of Dalton Kincaid play well without
No,
Dawson
I'm not
Knox
talking, I'm
out
not
there.
talking Kincaid. I'm talking Brock Bowers versus Kelsey right now.
I'm keeping Kelsey.
And if I trade it, who has Kelsey? The Evil Empire.
Evil
right?
Empire.
Yeah, we don't
course.
talk about them.
I don't know how he got Kelsey. Who knows?
I'm not
Mystery
this year.
unsolved.
I'm thinking the end of this year when this season's over. If I offered him Dalton Kincaid for Kelsey, or somebody offered Sam Laporta for Kelsey, you don't think he would take that trade? I would take that trade.
Yeah, but
But you're not taking it for Brock Bowers?
Well, it's only because I haven't seen him in the NFL right
Yeah,
now.
you haven't seen him. But so you would trade Kelsey for those guys at the end of this season. I'm not saying this season because you want to win your championship this year.
Yeah, I'm
Kelsey's the
trading
guy
for-
this year if you're in championship mode.
Yeah, if I'm in championship,
I don't think
mode,
you trade Kelsey if you're in championship mode. I think you
That's
just say,
not
"Oh, I
this
just
year. I'm
didn't
saying
get Brock
the end of the
Bowers."
year. The end of the year.
I don't think you do it then. If you're in the title contender right now, you just ride Kelsey to the sunset. And when he retires, you say, "Thank you for your service."
I can't do that.
I think you fumble. I think you're fumbling your team too much. If especially in the Evil Empire situation where you have you're pretty dominant. I think you just ride that into the sunset. I can understand flipping your team over and all that stuff, but Kelsey's a different beast. I love and hate this segment so much.
That wraps up the future.
That was
awesome
beautiful.
Rookie
That was pretty good.
talent.
That was beautiful.
Or whatever.
That was
it is.
beautiful.
I don't even know the damn acronym for this thing.
Well,
Yeah, future
about
awesome
that.
rookie talent.
That man is banned from naming anything in this podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Now, real quick, we're gonna start now. That concludes that portion. We're gonna go into the KDFL, but before we do the recaps, we did have a couple of trades this week. Of course, we broke the Thielen trade live on air. That was Thielen for a second and a fourth, the Evil Empire. And then we have the gamblers making more moves. Look, you lose to the mega powers, you just brain, it just breaks. All right. And you just realize life's not worth living anymore. So you just sell off everything. So the gamblers sold off Devin White. Say his last name. This is gonna be great. Detroit, what's that linebacker's last name? For the Lions. long blonde hair, 47.
Alex.
It cannot be right.
Only.
Whatever. And Harrison Smith, and of course you gotta get Michael Thomas. Who the heck wouldn't want Michael Thomas? The Lumberjacks get all that, and they give away a 2024 second. It's pretty nice. 2024 third, and a St. Albans Center 2024 third. So we add some draft capital. We get rid of some aging defensive players. And then one last move for the Gamblers as the sell-off continues. James Conner gets rid of him for a third. Gets a third back. So he's added what? He's added six picks.
Yep.
Bunch of draft picks, 6 picks, and then sold off some assets. The only huge move I could see, Phelan was a big move for the Evil Empire. It shores up that position. It does give them more depth, especially for this year. And Connor, if he comes back, that's a big piece because that was a running back that was performing, and that's not a lot to give up for that. That's what you do when you're in championship mode. So I think if he comes back and they give him the similar workload, which is no reason to suggest they shouldn't when the Cardinals are just riding out the season, I could see that being a huge piece for the Renegades. All right. Any thoughts on the trades at all?
Not really. They were just.
I didn't think. Look, trades matter. Okay. Downey Caesar built.
I mean, how old is James Conner now? He's
old.
He's up there.
I got too much slack for my comments last time, so I'm not gonna say anything.
All right. I
just want to reiterate to give everybody a chance to counter when you have multiple trades. This is for every fantasy league in the world.
It's a common courtesy.
Yes. And take the best offer that was offered to you.
Also, a good theory would be to take the best offer you were given.
Yes.
It is also a good.
How you forget? I don't know, but okay.
It happens. I guess.
Guess what fourth round picks do?
All right, we just make it to where
I'll stop.
There we go.
We have a bid process, and you have to open all the bids at once, and you have to take the best bid.
That's awesome.
And you're not allowed. Right. That is your best and final bid. You're not allowed to counter that bid that you turn in.
They went with the popular eBay buy it now offer. Yep. So they went with. Screw the bids, burn the boats, and off we go. All right, Matt, take us away. KDFL Week 8. Oh, the captain's recap, sponsored by my captain, Mr. Phil Ruxey. The captain's recap. Sorry, Matt. Week 8, take it away.
All right. Welcome to the Week 8 rundown. We start off. The Lumberjacks traveled to Kanawha County for this one, having lost 4 straight to the Kings, dating all the way back to 2021 season. Things were not looking good. Things were looking good for the Lumberjacks with Sam Howell and Josh Dobbs scoring 34 points and 23 points, respectively. Chris Godwin found the end zone for the first time this season, scoring 18 points. And one of the new arrivals on defense, Alex Anzalone, chipped in 20 points. With that output and the amazing rookies of the Lumberjacks, there's no possible way the Kings could stop this revolution. Except the Lumberjacks rookies forgot their pitchforks at home with Bijan Robinson, Zay Flowers, Puka Nacua, and Zach Charbonnet combining for a total of 35 points. Not to worry, though. The Lumberjacks still managed to put up the 6th most points this week. The only problem with that, however, is the Kings got a season high from CD Lamb, 41 points. Travis Etienne pitched in with 26 points, and 5 players on defense scored at least 15 points. Despite a good showing by the Lumberjacks, the Kings were just that much better, getting the win 292 to 263. These two Cinderella teams seem to definitely be trending in different directions at this point.
Next, we have the Cross Vegas Gamblers taking on the Hurricane Wampus Cats. And based on the history of this league, you would think the records were reversed. However, that is not the case this season, with the Wampus Cats coming into this one at 4-3 and the Gamblers coming in at 2-5. Despite their records this season, the Wampus Cats have never beaten the Gamblers in their first 4 seasons in the league. But A.J. Brown had a huge day, scoring 33 for the Wampus Cats, and elite Herbert added another 27 points. Meanwhile, for the Gamblers, quarterback play has been an issue all season, and it's continued with the Gamblers. Daniel Jones has now missed 3 straight weeks. Desmond Ritter while showing some flashes, only scored 3 points this week and will now sit behind Taylor Heineke.
Boom.
Did I get that right this time?
Yeah.
To further exacerbate the quarterback struggles for the Gamblers. As for Mike Jones, well, I think I can just say it was just another struggle for him, and you get the idea. Aside from quarterback play, the Gamblers mostly struggled to get anything going across the board, unable to surpass the Phil Doza line. The Wampus Cats went into Cross Vegas, spade history into this one, and ripped the hearts out of the Gamblers, beating them for the first time ever, 256 to 195.
All right, we had the Melbourne next in a battle of Florida supremacy. The Zen Masters make the short drive south to take on the Mega Powers. The Zen Master came into this one winning the last 3 out of 4 against the Mega Powers. Both teams came in near the bottom of the league in points scored. However, only one team decided to stay there. The trend continued for that team, while the other one had their strongest showing of the season. Brees Hall led the way on offense for the Zen Masters, scoring 21, while Max Crosby led the way on defense, scoring 20. Lamar struggled to get a lot going in this one, only managing to score 13, and Trevor Lawrence was just a little bit better, putting up 15 himself. Meanwhile, for the Mega Powers, Dak came out of the bye week firing on all cylinders, reaching his highest output on the season with 33 points. Trey McBride also comes out of nowhere, scoring a shocking 27, nearly doubling his season total for the 2023 season. Frank Lavuvu led the way on defense with 27, and as you could probably tell from the tone of this one, it was not a good day for the Zen Masters, or maybe it was just fine because they are masters of Zen. Either way, the Mega Powers take back the Florida bragging rights, getting the win 281 to 198.
All right. Well, Brett takes a breath and gets a drink of water after that recap. The River Rats at the Devermans. Jahmyr Gibbs finally broke out in a big way in one of the River Rats, scoring 30 points. Derek Carr also added 21 points for the River Rats. The issue for the River Rats, however, was getting a combined 27 points from Raheem Mostert, Damian Pierce, Jameson Williams, Christian Watson, Darren Waller, and the rest of his team, apparently. On the other hand, the Devermans had at least 5 players scoring over 27 points and 2 scoring over 30, Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. So as bad as it seemed for the River Rats, I don't think it even mattered in this one, as the Dobermans altered their record books, scoring a massive 333 points, putting them firmly in second place in most points scored in a game hit in the history of this league. Final score in Elkview, Dobermans 333, River Rats 200.
Next, we have the defending champs, the South Hills Evil Empire, taking on the Roxalana Renegades.
Sorry.
What are you laughing for?
The captain's pretty long-winded. Go ahead.
Yes, he is. It's a very unprofessional by you, by the way. Coming into this one, the Renegades have only beaten the Evil Empire 4 times in 11 seasons and were 1-7 against the Evil Empire in their last 8 contests. However, this Renegades team is different as they come in with a 5-2 record. Tua basically been firing all cylinders for the Renegades, averaging 21 points per game, putting him 4th amongst quarterbacks. He surpassed that average in this one, finishing with 24 points. Joe Mixon, who has been struggling a little bit, was able to add another 20 for the Renegades. Jalen Waddle, T.J. Edwards, and Logan Wilson all added 25 apiece. The Renegades had a good showing this week, but they also had some players that were kind of lackluster. Aside from Edwards and Wilson, the rest of the defense only combined for 61 points. On the dark side, for the Evil Empire, it was a more consistent scoring output across the board, at least on offense, with only Travis Kelce scoring under 16, his lowest output of the season. Jalen Hurts, George Kittle, and Jamar Chase led the way with the Evil Empire, combining for 82 points, helping the Evil Empire thwart the Renegades' overthrow attempt this week. The Evil Empire come out victorious, 300 to 279.
All right, we end with our Week 8 game of the week. It's the Midnight Riders taking on the Sinners. Both teams are 5-2, and this one ended up being the most tightly contested matchup of the week. Even before going on down with his Achilles, Kirk Cousins managed to put up 22 on the board for the Sinners to go along with 21 from Chef Russ and 17 from Terry McLaurin. Baker Mayfield and Tyreek Hill led the way for the Midnight Riders, putting up 24 and 27 points respectively. The defense led the way in this one, however, with both teams averaging at least 14 points across the board on their defensive positions. Linebackers led the way, with each team having a linebacker score over 20 points, and 6 of the 8 linebackers in the matchup scoring at least 15. Well, ultimately, was the deciding factor in this one came down to Monday Night Football with a historically poor performance from Devontae Adams. He was projected to score 18. He's been averaging 15. Devontae Adams scored a whopping 2 points. So, if he had just scored his average, the Midnight Riders could possibly be hoping for a stat correction, but that's not going to happen this week, as the St. Albans Sinners improved to 6-2, beating the Midnight Riders 253 to 248. And that is it for your Captain's Week 8 recap.
Wow.
Woo! My man turned into Mark Twain this week.
The captain's going to have to work on editing.
He turned into Mark Twain. Whatever, I'm reading scrolls.
Wow.
Scrolls. Shout out to the captain.
I appreciate
the
it.
Review.
I appreciate the work.
Let's throw up the predictions on the big board right now. It was a great week for the pod, the best week in the podcast's history, as KDFL wise. Yours truly went a perfect 6-0 on his picks, thanks to my beautiful Mega Powers. You both went 5-1, and for the first time, we swept our locks of the week. All three of us hitting, and the dogs. Detroit went after San Francisco 2 straight weeks, and 2 straight weeks he was victorious, getting the Bengals over the 49ers, and mercilessly the Stealing Money parlay hit, and so it improves to 3-5. All right, gentlemen. Sure. Hey, one thing I thought of, I want to bring up. Me and Matt did this matchup. We did the Zen Masters and the Mega Powers, the battle for Florida. I think it'd be fun. It would take a lot more involvement from the rest of the league. But if you had like 1 or 2 rivalries, you know how NCAA college football or college football in general, they have like the Paul Bunyan's axe and things like that they do. It'd be cool to be doing like little rivalries. Like if me and Matt did something Florida related that we passed back and forth from this matchup each year. I don't know about that. We'd have to come up with. I think you two would be my 2 rivalries that I'd be doing it with, but I think it'd be something fun and creative for people to do. So let's brainstorm that in the chat this week as well. That could be some good stuff.
Good. That would be good.
All right,
good thought,
boys. Are we ready to go into week 9?
It's going to be short for me because I'm out of breath now.
I'd love to just hit the inhaler mid podcast. It'd be amazing. All right, let me bring it up here. All right, we're going to kick to it right now. All right, there it is. We are going to start in Elkview, and we'll go as the order we always do. We go to Detroit, then Matt. We're going to start in Elkview with the 6-2 Sinners coming off their game of the week victory over the Midnight Riders in that close one we just talked about. Detroit, what's something you're looking forward here in this matchup? And let's get a winner from you.
Well, for the Sinners, I'm looking at Aaron Jones. Can he get going? I know he's banged up. The Packers are only averaging 88 yards a game. I think for them to actually win, they need to get their ground game going so Jordan Love doesn't have to try to win it for them. As for me, gosh, this team. I don't have Gibbs this week. He's on a bye. I'm having to start Singletary and Pierce. I finally have a wide receiver who ranks higher than Mike Williams, who hasn't played in like 6 weeks. Wide receiver number 63, Rondale Moore. So my wide receiver situation is awful. But this isn't going to be close. The Sinners, they're rolling. They're going to keep rolling. They're going to take me down.
Detroit sure does love the Green Bay Packers with Jordan Love, Christian Watson, and Quay Walker. But I'm always, again, I say it every week, I'm always amazed with the Sinners' projections. They are 6-2, 243 points. And I look at this team, they have 1 QB going for the rest of the year in Gardner Minshew. That is it. Tannehill is out.
Oh,
He's not playing.
I didn't even notice that.
No, they have Russ.
And Kirk Cousins is out. Oh, he does have Russ. I didn't see
he's
Russ.
On bye. He's on bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still 242 based with Gardner Minshew as your only QB. It's pretty impressive to be projected that amount. Derek Carr has got to score 50 points. He possibly could against the Bears, But I'm going with the Sinners. I think it might be over 500 now, hopefully. Going with the Sinners.
You are over 500. 5-1 week did that for you. Now I'm looking at this. I hit on it during the show, during the NFL discussion. I think the Eagles and Cowboys is going to be a close one, and I think they're going to need Tony Pollard more than what they've been using him. So I want to see if he beats that 16-point projection. But yeah, I am also going Sinners to get the victory. Next, we have the streaking 2-6 Melbourne Mega Powers taking on the Evil Commissions 4-4 Evil Empire. Detroit, take it away.
Well, I don't like talking about the one team, but since I'm forced
Which one in this scenario?
Actually, yeah, you're right, both. I'm looking to see Mahomes and the Chiefs taking on Miami. I want to see if that's going to be a shootout like I think it's going to be. As for you, I hope I say his first name right. Rashad White. Did I get that right?
You nailed it.
Yes.
Look at you.
I noticed in the last 2 games he has a total of 13 receptions. So that's a really nice point getter in this league. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. With that said, I think the team that won't be named will end up taking down the Mega Powers.
Yeah, this game might end early with the Dolphins and Chiefs game starting at 9:30. Mahomes and Travis Kelce, if it's a shootout, those two could combine for 70 points, 60, 70 points. They're just I want to see what for the Mega Powers, I want to see what Jahan Dotson, if he could do anything. He's been a major disappointment. This is his second year, right?
Yeah, but you're coming off his biggest week.
Which was what? 12 points?
No. Hold on, it might have been 12 points.
He may have been discussed.
It was 25 points.
Yeah, you got 24. 25, all right, yeah. But look at the rest of that. Ugh. I know you didn't start him. Did you start him?
No, I didn't start him.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's been terrible. But anyway, as much as I want the Mega Powers to win, they did put up impressive points last week, killing me. I don't see it happening. Evil Empire get this.
It's a huge letdown spot for the Mega Powers. We put everything in the Battle of Florida that we had. I think that's a top 3 performance all time with that 280 points. I did have in my notes the main thing I do want to see if Dotson can back up a big performance. Curtis Samuel was banged up. He's still a little bit banged up. So I do want to see if he can put together another big performance this week. That's the main thing to watch. And we want to see Eckler between the tackles to see if he really is just a wide receiver and running back now, to see if the tackles improve at all. But, I mean, I look at the projections. It's a 50-point projection. It might get a little bit tighter if Watson actually plays, because right now he's projected 0 and he's not in there. But I do think that this is where the Mega Power story ends for this season. We're clinging on by our fingertips right now, but this is where the story ends, and the Evil Empire gets the W. Now, next, we will go to the reeling, disgusting Cross Vegas Gamblers at 2-6, taking on the 6-2 Devermans. Detroit, take it away.
All right, so looking at this game, he still has Ritter in his lineup. I have to assume he's going to he's going to have to replace him. So I'm looking forward to Mac Jones. Can't believe I'm saying that in this matchup.
What a sentence.
He is going against the 29th ranked defense of Washington, but they just traded away their 2 defensive linemen. So that's going to be interesting to see if Mac can get anything going. As for the Dobermans, Alvin Kamara, he has played in 5 games this season, and his lowest output is 17 points. In his last 2, he's had 29 and 27-point games. So I'm anxious to see him play against Chicago this week. And with that, I'm taking the Dobermans.
Dobermans, yeah, they got Josh Allen going against Joe Burrow. Could be another shootout. I think that's Sunday night game. That could be a lot of high scoring for just those 2. I mean, Doberman scored 330 points last week. The Gamblers scored less than 200, I'm pretty sure.
180.
There's not much to look at here. Dobermans win this.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend a ton on this. The main thing I'm looking at. I've been a long one on these. No, the main thing I'm looking at, Josh Downs and Pittman. It's been risky having to start both of them, but it has paid off for the most part. We'll see if that continues. I want to see if they can hit the 30-point mark. They're projected 28. I want to see if they can hit the 30-point mark this week. I'm going with the Dobermans to get the W. Next, we go to Wake Forest. where the 5-3 Renegades are taking on the 3-5, reeling a little bit, Lumberjacks. Go ahead, Detroit.
Yes, the Lumberjacks started out a little hot this season, but I think they're coming back to earth like we all thought they would. The Renegades, the player I want to see is Tua against Kansas City. Like I said earlier with Mahomes, I think that game is going to be a shootout, so I'm anxious to watch that. And as for the Lumberjacks, I want to see your boy Bijan. I want to see him get the ball more, and hopefully he will against the Vikings and take them down this week. But I'm definitely taking the Renegades.
Yeah, there's a lot of non very close matchups going on this week. Seeing Zach Charbonnet in at running back is never a good thing to see at this point in the beginning of his career. I guess that's his best option besides Bijan. Although I mean Zay and Puka's still been good and solid. But the Renegades, Tua and Waddle against the Chiefs. It's the same as the Evil Empire. Like that could be a lot of points scored just between those two. Again, another one doesn't seem like it's going to be close at all. Renegades win this.
Yeah, Renegades actually on a 3-game losing streak. That's been a little bit underreported ever since the commish pointed out that they were the last undefeated team. They have not won a game. But the main thing, look, Charbonnet is getting the start, and he did out-snap Kenneth Walker last week for the first time all season. So I think that's a little bit with what was happening with the game, and Kenneth Walker is a little bit banged up. But I do want to see what that snap count looks like, because this game is going to be a blowout. It's not going to be worth watching. So the only thing I get to look at is a Zach Charbonnet versus Kenneth Walker carry split. Exciting stuff. All right. Next, we will go with the Kanawha County Kings traveling to Nocatee. I hope he brought a sunblock to take on the Zen Masters. Go ahead, Detroit.
I think we've agreed on every game so far. So hopefully
this might be a consensus week. Well, I don't know. The last game is Go ahead.
I think this one we might get a little different here.
Maybe.
For this game, for the Kings, I'm looking forward to seeing Jordan Addison if he can continue to do what he's been doing without Captain Kirk now. For the Zen Masters, Brees Hall, he's had like 3 straight games of at least 20 points in fantasy. So that's the matchup that I'm looking for. This one's going to be close. I've gone back and forth, but I have a feeling I know one way one of you guys is going on this. So with that, I'm going to make it interesting. I'm going with the Kings.
Make it interesting.
Let's go.
Make it interesting as the Kings put up almost 300 last week, and
I'm looking at the projections.
90. And I'm surprised looking at the projections as they're as close as they are. But it does look like the stars are aligning a little bit for me this week. Kenny Pickett injured on a Thursday night. Elijah Moore, he's got to start him at the OP because Purdy's out. Jordan Addison, like you mentioned, does not have Kirk Cousins. But even if Jordan Addison does do well, like I mentioned earlier, newly acquired Zen Master, Jaron, however you say his name, Jaron Hall.
Right.
Is in the OP spot only because Trevor Lawrence is on bye this week, but still, it's a very convenient time. The main thing I want to see for the Zen Masters, Taysom Hill. What do they continue to do with him? He is projected low. I did not start him last week. Projected low last week too. Past 2 weeks, he scored about 20 points. So I'm going with the 2 tight end option. Just to not be consensus with you all, I will go. Shocker, upset of the week. Zen Masters win this one.
All right. Look, we're looking at this. It's a lot of checkmating happening here. You got George Pickens to his Kenny Pickett. I mean, you got Jaron Hall to his Jordan Addison. There's a lot of that happening. You don't have Trevor Lawrence, but that means that the Kings don't have ETN. So I mean, there's a lot of back and forth there. The main thing I want to see, Brees Hall, he hasn't looked good as a runner, similar to the Eckler breakdown we did. But he has been hitting home runs in the receiving game, especially last week. So I want to see if that continues against the Chargers. But looking at this, I have a hard time believing the Zen Masters win on a Trevor Lawrence bye week. That's not how this team is constructed. So I'm going with the Kings, but I do think that this is going to be a nail-biter. Now, our game of the week. We felt so bad about the Midnight Riders taking such a bad beat with only Devontae Adams and a couple of defensive players to go and still losing to the to the Sinners, that we let him have a redo in this very close matchup. He gets the game of the week host. Marmette gets to host again. So Detroit, take it away. Look at these projections. Both teams are 5-3. What do you think?
My gosh, I get this only a half a point difference here. Justin Herbert, he had a good game last week, so he's probably going to have a bad game this week because that's just how it goes with him. For the Midnight Riders, I want to see if Devontae Adams bounces back. His quarterback situation with Baker and Zach Wilson is not ideal. I would like to see if what's I say? Zach's projected at 15 points. I think he's going to need to get more points out of him to win this game. I think the Wampus Cats are going to take it down. I think A.J. Brown and Mark Andrews has a big week, so I'm taking the Wampus Cats.
This was tough. I mean, it's very close. It looks like Wampus Cats are projected to win every category on offense. The Midnight Riders win every category on defense, but they're all close. You do have Will Levis going against the Steelers, and the Steelers, they should have got destroyed by the Jaguars last week if it wasn't for a couple bad turnovers that happened. It would not have been close at all. It would have been like 35-7 if there wasn't for the turnovers. Levis, I'm big on him. I think he'll have another big week. But Justin Herbert going against the Jets is a little troubling. But you also got Keenan Allen on the Midnight Riders. So I got to go Wampus Cats, though. Go Wampus Cats.
All right. Look at this. The interesting thing that I want to see, I do want to see Devontae Adams with Aiden O'Connell to see if that really will give the floor like we talked about, and also Tank Dell. He started off pretty hot, but he's been underutilized a little bit. Towards the end of last week, they started getting him the ball in a little bit more creative ways. I want to see if that starts to be true this week as well. I don't know. After taking that crushing of a loss, it's hard for me to see the Midnight Riders fall to 5-4. So I'm going to take the Midnight Riders just to be a little bit on the other side of you two. Yeah, so give me the Midnight Riders getting the win. And that's it for the KDFL Week 9 predictions. Let's flip it back to us now. And that is it for our show. So Detroit, we need your lock. We need your dog of the week and whatever dumb sign off that you have.
All right. So, like I always say, I don't condone gambling. But if you did listen to us last week, you probably made a lot of money.
There we go. There it is.
Maybe you should sometimes. So, no, if you don't have the money, don't do it. Anyways,
oh my God.
My lock of the week is I'm taking the Eagles -3 over the Cowboys. My upset is pretty shocking. I'm taking the Cards over the Browns. I don't know why. Just have a feeling about that game. So give me them. And it's been a long podcast, a lot of talking. But as always, Brett, you suck.
Matt.
All right. Lock of the week is the Titans +2.5 against the Steelers. Said that a couple of times tonight. The Steelers are not good. Their record is a lie. They're not good. Titans are winning. I don't know if they're winning. They're at least getting +2.5 against the Steelers. They will cover that. And the dog of the week, the Bucs to beat the team that everyone loves, CJ Stroud and the Texans. Bucs pulling the upset. Shouldn't be anything. And sign off. There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. So stay happy. Things will happen. Guys like Josh McDaniels will go away from you. And just stay on the happy path. There you go.
Love it.
All right. Real quick. So don't forget, please remember to like the video and subscribe. All right. So for my locks of the week, I've been hot with do the opposite of what your brain says. I've won 3 straight. So I don't see how the Bears could possibly keep this close against the Saints. The Saints look so good on offense. And they have a good defense, and the Bears look so bad. So might as well give me the Bears and give me the 8.5 points. upsets. I've tried to catch Baltimore a couple of times now. I've been wrong both times, so why not try it again? Give me the Seahawks over the Ravens. And for the Stealing Money parlay, we're going to go New Orleans money line over the Bears. And then we're going to go with the Commanders plus 13.5 against the Patriots. And we're going to go the Bucks plus 13.5 against the Texans. I don't think either of those games will get away from either team. Parlay it all up, you go minus 140. So a little bit heavy on the juice side, but still under the 150 mark. So, what a show. For Jonathan Detroit Haynes, for the Zenful Matt Smith, I'm Brett Steele, and we will see you here next week on the KDFL Dynasty Football Podcast.